At night, your yard may look empty. The chairs are still. The grass is dark. The feeder hangs without movement. A porch light glows for a while, then the house goes quiet. But the moment human activity fades, another map begins to appear. Not on paper. Not in lines you can see from a window. It appears in scent. In shadows. In worn grass near the fence. In the narrow space under a gate. In the places where leaves are moved a little more than they should be. While you sleep, your yard may become part of a hidden route. For many wild animals, the night is not empty space. It is a corridor, a shelter, a dining room, a shortcut between safer places. A raccoon may follow the fence line because it offers cover. An opossum may move under the porch because the ground holds warmth. A fox may pause at the edge of the lawn, not because it is lost, but because it is reading what happened there before. To us, a backyard is property. A familiar rectangle of grass, wood, glass, and light. To animals, it can be something very different. It can be a landscape of information. Every object tells a story. The feeder says where seeds fall. The compost bin says what scent carries after sunset. The shrubs say where a body can disappear. The fence says where movement is possible. The patio says where humans usually stand. And the house itself says when the loudest animal in the area has gone still. This is why the nighttime world around homes can feel so surprising when a camera finally sees it. Motion-triggered cameras, often called camera traps, have changed the way scientists and ordinary people notice wildlife. They wait without speaking. They watch without footsteps. They record the moment an animal crosses a place humans thought was unused. And again they reveal the same quiet truth. Wildlife is often closer than we think. Not because animals are trying to be seen, but because they have learned how not to be. In research, camera traps are valuable because they can observe animals with very little disturbance. They can record the time of activity, the direction of movement, and the places animals return to. For shy or nocturnal species, this matters. Human eyes are not always present at the right hour. But the camera is. It may catch a deer walking past a shed at 3:00 a.m., a fox slipping between two fences, a skunk searching for seeds beneath a feeder, a raccoon inspecting a bird bath, an opossum crossing the patio with the calm patience of an animal that has done this before. To the camera, these are events. To the animals, they may be routine. And that is the real revelation. The hidden life of your yard is not just a collection of random visits. It may be a pattern. Animals do not move through the world the way we imagine from a window. They do not see a yard as a flat, open space. They see edges, cover, smells, repeated safety, repeated danger. The edge of a fence may matter more than the center of a lawn. A shrub may be more useful than a flower bed. A dim corner may be more important than the brightest part of the garden. The paths animals choose often follow the logic of survival. Stay close to cover, cross open ground quickly. Pause where scent gathers. Listen before stepping into light. Even light itself becomes part of the map. A porch light may help one animal see, but expose another. A dark strip beside the fence may become a safer route. A window blowing late into the night may tell wildlife that humans are still awake. When the light goes out, the yard changes. Scientists studying human disturbance have found that many mammals shift more of their activity into the night. When human presence increases, one large analysis found a consistent pattern across species and continents. Animals often become more nocturnal around human activity, This does not mean every animal in your yard is avoiding you personally. But it does mean that human routines can reshape animal time. Our day can become their night. The hours after we sleep may become the hours when they move. This is one reason a yard can feel lifeless in daylight and alive after midnight. It is not that the animals suddenly appear from nowhere. It is that their schedule is wrapped around ours. They wait for the quiet. They wait for doors to stop opening. They wait for footsteps to end. And when the human world softens, the animal world expands. A raccoon may remember where food once fell. An opossum may return to the same sheltered corner. A fox may test the same gap again and again, learning whether it leads to a safer route. A deer may step into the yard only when the street has emptied and the house has dimmed. None of this requires drama. The most extraordinary thing may be how ordinary it is. The nightly visitors are not monsters in the dark. They are neighbors using a different clock. They are animals fitting their lives around ours, sometimes so quietly that the only evidence is a print in mud, a bent blade of grass, or a feeder that emptied sooner than expected. And if you begin to notice those traces, the yard changes. A fence is no longer just a fence. It is a highway edge. A bush is no longer just a bush. It is cover. A water dish is no longer just a bowl. It is a stop on a route. Even silence becomes information. The stillness outside your window may not mean nothing is happening. It may mean something is waiting. It may mean the movement is too subtle for daylight attention. It may mean the hidden world is operating exactly as it always has, just beyond the limits of our schedule. This is the strange intimacy of backyard wildlife. The animals do not need to know your name, to know your rhythm. They may learn when the door opens, when the lights go out, when the dog comes inside, when the feeder is filled, when the yard becomes safe enough to cross. And in that quiet exchange, your home becomes part of a larger living map. Not wilderness far away, not a distant forest. Here, outside the window, beside the fence, under the porch, across the grass you thought was empty. By morning, most of the visitors are gone. The yard returns to itself. The chairs are still. The window reflects daylight. The path looks ordinary again. But if you look closely, the night may have left a signature. A few seeds scattered where they were not before. A faint track near the gate. Leaves shifted beside the shed. A trail through dew that vanishes as the sun rises. The hidden life around you does not always announce itself. Sometimes it passes quietly through the dark, leaving just enough evidence to remind you that the world is shared in ways we rarely see. So tonight, when your house goes still, the yard may not be falling asleep. It may be waking up.